At the Watchtower, the Justice League is alerted to an incoming threat. Cyborg struggles to identify the source, noting it's moving impossibly fast. Green Lantern impulsively prepares to head out and investigate, but Robin and Cyborg warn there's no time, urging everyone to brace for impact as the danger rapidly closes in. The Watchtower is struck with a massive impact as debris flies everywhere, forcing the heroes to react. Green Lantern braces himself midair, while Robin and Cyborg are thrown backward by the shockwave. As chaos unfolds, Robin shouts to seal the walls to contain the damage. Lantern surveys the destruction, wondering aloud if the attack was caused by a meteor. But Cyborg, still processing the situation, ominously suggests it was something far more deliberate. As they comprehend the source of the impact, Lobo races away from the Watchtower on his space bike. Later, amidst the ruins in Metropolis, Lobo looks at the destruction, seemingly unimpressed. Superman flies in asking, "What are you doing here?" Lobo sarcastically confirms it's Superman's city and admits he was planning a destruction spree to get his attention. Superman coldly replies, "You have my attention. What do you want?" Lobo informs Superman that someone has placed a bounty on his head, specifically some apocalypse bastard. As he lights a cigar, he casually remarks on Superman's reputation for punching a god to death, calling it pretty badass. Superman, unimpressed, sternly asks if Lobo has come to collect the bounty. Lobo says he's there to see if Superman is worth the trouble. Unimpressed by Lobo's antics, Superman says, "I don't have time for this," and takes off into the sky. Lobo, not one to be ignored, shouts after him, "Hey, no one flies away from the main man." He grabs a chunk of debris and hurls it with immense force. It sends shockwaves through the rubble and shouts, "No one." Superman flies back towards Lobo, holds him by the neck and responds, "You want to know if I'm worth the trouble?" Superman then grabs Lobo, flying him straight up and out of the Earth's atmosphere. Without a word, Superman drags Lobo into the vastness of space towards the sun. Superman then flies closer to the sun, where the intense heat and light bathe them in fiery hues. Lobo struggles, gritting his teeth due to the overwhelming heat as Superman smiles. They then return to Metropolis, and Superman tells Lobo, "You can heal from anything. You can regenerate from a single drop of blood. You think there'd be a single drop of blood left if I threw you into the sun?" Superman then sets him down and confronts him face to face, asking if he's worth the trouble. Lobo, unimpressed with the bounty's payout, admits, not for what they're offering. Superman then offers him a job instead. Superman tasks him with finding Harley Quinn. Lobo agrees, but notes he'll need her scent to track her. Superman and Lobo visit a secure location, where Superman suggests they might find something belonging to Harley Quinn in the trophy room. Lobo complains about superheroes keeping lousy trophies. Inside, they encounter Lex Luthor, who is suspicious of Lobo's presence. Superman explains that Lobo is temporarily working for him. Lex sarcastically remarks about Lobo being a model employee, prompting Lobo to fire back with a sharp quip, mocking Lex's baldness and calling him a highbrow bastard. Lobo then spots Lex holding a glowing pill in a small container. Intrigued, Lobo demands to know what it is. Lex tries to dismiss it as unimportant, but Lobo calls his bluff, insisting that nothing wouldn't be stored in a special box. Lex reluctantly explains that the pill enhances a regular person's strength and durability. Curious and reckless, Lobo wonders aloud what would happen if he took one. Lex warns of unpredictable effects, noting Lobo's already extraordinary strength. Seizing the moment, Lobo declares he wants a pill as payment for his work, challenging Superman's skepticism while confidently negotiating his terms. Superman agrees to Lobo's demand, handing over the super pill as payment. Lobo inspects a piece of Harley Quinn's clothing, sniffing it and declaring, "She smells nuts." Then Lex criticizes his method. Lobo smirks, defending his abilities and taunting Lex by claiming he smells nervous. Superman redirects the focus, sending Lobo to Gotham to find Harley, with strict instructions to capture her alive and avoid collateral damage. Lobo grudgingly accepts, but complains about the lack of fun. Back in Gotham in Harley Quinn's lair, an explosive coom rocks the room, causing her to jolt in surprise. Lobo bursts into the room. "You're not Superman." Harley, momentarily stunned, looks at him and retorts, "Who the hell are you?" Lobo responds, "What do you mean, who am I?" "I'm Lobo." Lobo reintroduces himself to Harley Quinn, who sarcastically retorts that saying his name slower doesn't make it more important. When Lobo boasts, "Everyone's heard of the main man," Harley mocks him, asking if that's supposed to be him. After his proud confirmation, she teases him for talking in the third person. Unfazed by her banter, Lobo watches as Harley unexpectedly punches his chest with a loud crack, laughing at her own antics. Lobo, unimpressed, grabs her and lifts her off the ground as she kicks and yells, "Hey, get your hands off me!" Lobo then puts Harley on his bike and speeds through the city. He compliments her clever strategy of hiding in the sewers to evade Superman, but smugly declares, "No one hides from the main man." Noticing Harley fidgeting mid-flight, he asks what she's doing. She pulls out a fake mustache, playfully explaining, "Fake mustache. I keep it too," before being interrupted. Lobo grins, affirming, "No one should have to justify the greatness of a mustache." As Lobo rides on, he flaunts the super pill, proudly declaring it as, "My payment for bringing you in." Intrigued, Harley asks what it does. Lobo explains it's a super pill designed to make the user invincible, boasting about testing it himself to see if his perfection could possibly be improved. While he's distracted by his own arrogance, Harley slyly steals the pill from its compartment. Flashing a mischievous grin, she swallows it before Lobo notices. Suspicious, Lobo glances back, calling out, "Hello!" completely unaware of her bold move. After swallowing the super pill, Harley leaps off Lobo's bike, plummeting through the air. She crashes through a building roof, leaving a massive impact crater on the floor. As the dust clears, Harley lies in the rubble, completely unharmed, surrounded by shocked onlookers. Harley then sits up. A concerned man asks if she's okay. She replies, "Yes." In an instant, she bolts from the wreckage with superhuman speed. Harley, now with superhuman strength, crashes through yet another wall. Tumbling through the air, she free falls with reckless abandon to another building wall as she cheers. "This is amazing!" Lobo, finally fed up with Harley's antics, delivers a powerful punch to her face, shouting, "That's enough!" The impact knocks her to the ground, but Harley quickly recovers, rubbing her face. She begins to open up, saying, "You know what? I've just come out of a pretty abusive relationship." As she kneels, Harley continues, explaining that she's had some time to process her life without her puddin' and is coming to terms with her newfound independence. She declares, "And you know what I've decided? No one gets to lay a hand on me ever again." She then punches Lobo through the wall, sending him crashing to the ground. Stunned and disoriented, he finds himself sitting on the road and gets knocked by a truck. Elsewhere, Green Arrow and Black Canary are sparring. Canary lands a punch to Oliver's face. "Don't make excuses. Concentrate," she tells Oliver. "I find people can't really hit me too high after I've put an arrow in both of their shoulders." Oliver replies. Canary, unimpressed, points out his flaw. "You never hold your guard high enough," landing another swift hit to emphasize her point. Black Canary then flips Oliver to the ground and tells him to concentrate. Oliver, ever the playful one, retorts, "Maybe I am concentrating. Maybe this is exactly where I wanted you." Canary, unimpressed, scoffs, "Oh, please, Oliver Queen. Don't pretend for a second that this was some cunning seduction. You and I both know I just kicked your ass." Suddenly, a loud bang. Harley comes crashing into the room on Lobo's space bike. Green Arrow and Black Canary look on as she barrels uncontrollably through the space. Panicking, Harley yells, "Brakes! Brakes!" before realizing she has no idea how to stop the bike. She then shouts, "Screw it!" and she jumps off the bike. The bike crashes and explodes, and Harley gracefully lands, while Black Canary and Green Arrow look on in shock. Harley steps, "I'm sorry, is this a bad time?" Harley then confronts Green Arrow and Black Canary, stating she needs their help. Green Arrow, exasperated, demands, "What are you doing here? How did you find the arrow cave?" Canary then mocks him, asking, "Are you still calling it that?" Harley smirks, chiming in with her amusement. "Oh, not this again." Canary suggests a better name for their hideout. "I said he should call it the Quiver," which Harley supports, calling it actually better. But Oliver, frustrated, shouts, "I'm not changing the name." Green Arrow presses further, emphasizing the importance of secrecy in their hideout. Harley nonchalantly explains how she found it, recalling a time when they had her handcuffed in the hideout. With a sly grin, she admits, "I wasn't actually completely locked up, except when I wanted to be." Harley casually explains her presence, mentioning she went for a few walks around the area, admiring the scenery, and even spotting a squirrel. Green Arrow, overwhelmed, face palms and declares, "I'm going to have to relocate. I was always pretty discreet." Harley, with a cheeky grin, innocently retorts, "Discreet?" Black Canary interjects sarcastically, pointing out, "You just drove a flying motorbike in here." Harley apologetically responds, "I'm sorry I came back. It's just, you're the only person I can remember being nice to, well, a long time." Suddenly, Canary and Arrow focus on the bike. "Flying motorbike?" Green Arrow questions. "Who do we know with a flying motorbike?" Canary asks, quickly adding, "Tell me you didn't steal this from Lobo." Harley, trying to keep her cool, responds, "Huh." Lobo crashes into the arrow cave, bellowing, "Where is she? I can smell her. Where's the soon-to-be, not-breathing crazy bastich who stole the main man's bike?" Harley tries to stay unnoticed, but Green Arrow is already on high alert, aiming his bow while yelling, "The arrow cave is supposed to be a secret hideout." Lobo scoffs at the name. "Arrow cave? What a stupid—" But before he can finish, Green Arrow lets loose a volley of arrows that sink right into Lobo's chest. Lobo grunts in pain, growling, Narga! Meanwhile, Harley steps aside and says to Black Canary, Pretty bird, you're up. Black Canary unleashes her canary cry and sends Lobo reeling, clutching his ears in pain. Nar! He bellows, momentarily disoriented. The screech reverberates as Harley takes the opportunity to leap onto Lobo, cackling, My turn! She wraps herself around Lobo. Lobo, recovering his senses, roars, I will frag and kill all of you. Harley then snaps off Lobo's head and triumphantly hoists it in the air, shouting, Best team up ever!